Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Insider Gaming channel. I am Connor Bromley and today we are going to give one of the smallest clubs in the Football League, Harrogate Town, £1 billion to see what would happen. And we're going to simulate, not for 5 years, not for 10, but for 15 years and see if they can get to the promised land of the Premier League within 15 season. So it's going to be interesting. Are they going to go after some big name players? I'm not 100% sure. Are they going to spend a fortune? I mean, in League 2, there's only so much you can really spend. And of course, there is also squad cost related rules around that as well. But I expect some infrastructure changes as we go along. So yes, when we see you on the other side of this, it'll be 15 years in the future. See what Football Manager predicts will happen if you give one of the smallest clubs in the Football League £1 billion to spend. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel. That really helps. Let's dive into it. Season 1 of giving Harrogate Town all the money in the world. Season finish in 19th place in League 2. And I think as we go through this, we'll see that the investment, hopefully anyway, otherwise this is going to be a pretty rubbish video. Hopefully we'll see the investment begin to come in and we'll see them sort of power up the leagues. But yeah, I think simulating to 2040, we should have a chance of seeing them potentially in the Premier League. Next season they finish in the playoffs. They finish 5th, 70 points. It's a pretty good season, certainly stronger than what you'd expect from Harrogate. So the money is obviously making a difference. The year after, 9th, so a worse season. So they've regressed a little bit, still in League 2. 4th season in, we finished 4th, 2 points away from promotion, losing in the playoffs. Carlisle get promoted ahead of us in the playoffs. So again, another season with Harrogate in League 2. And I would have thought they'd be out of it at this point. The following campaign, champions. So it took until 2030 for this Harrogate team to really hot up and finally get out of League 2. So longer than I would have expected. But you've got to remember, Harrogate are one of the smaller clubs, possibly the smallest club in League 2. Let's see how they got on in League 1. Pretty strong first season in League 1 then, finishing in 8th place. That is quite good. If we look at the rest of the league, some of the big names in here, Bradford in here, Plymouth in here, Cardiff in here still, Portsmouth, Blackburn obviously in there. So this is a pretty good season for Harrogate. I'm pretty optimistic that we might see them get out of this league quite quickly. Following campaign, 4th place finish. That is very, very good for Harrogate to be in there. So it looks like they're taking to League 1 pretty well. Following campaign, though, a pretty serious regression. They've got to 61 points now. They're in 12th, which is disappointing. Also nice to see Boston making their way up the leagues. Curious to see what teams we see as we keep going through this. Following campaign, 3rd. Leicester City down here in League 1. Sheffield United down here in League 1 as well. So some big clubs. Blackburn Rovers as well at this level, but Harrogate finished 3rd, losing out in the playoffs. Following campaign, Harrogate finished 5th, so definitely strong vibes of a really good League 1 team. And still some big clubs at this level, Portsmouth, Sheffield United, Bristol City. Did Harrogate finally get out? No, this is a severe regression, down to 15th place. A +6 goal difference is interesting. Again, we see some big clubs, Derby falling down at this level as well. 36-37, Harrogate finishing 7th. So we're just sort of stuck in this middle of League 1 right now. Can't seem to get our way out of it. I think we had the chance to get promoted in the first sort of 2 or 3 seasons, but now it definitely feels like it's been a struggle. Promoted in the 37-38 season. So there we go. It's taken 13 years of having £1 billion to see Harrogate finally make their way up to the championship. Let's see how the championship season went. So we've got 2 seasons to get out the championship on this simulation. Let's see, 15 years if we can get out. First season was in 18th place, finished 52 points, which isn't all that bad. Birmingham finishing ahead of Aston Villa at the top. Interesting to see how the league looks. To be honest, it's not massively different to what it is in real life. And this past final season, Harrogate finished in 15th place with 55 points, a ways away from the relegation towards the bottom of the league. So that is the league form. Let's see if there's been any dramas if we look through the results in the, how they've done in certain competitions. So we're not going to obviously look through all the individual results, but I'm just curious to see if anything massively stands out in terms of cup competitions. And it looks like in year one, through the FA Cup third round, beat Birmingham there, that's good. Fourth round, lost against Crystal Palace 2-1. Yeah, so nothing massive there. The following season, out of the Carabao Cup early, out of the FA Cup against Fylde early, out of the Virtue Trophy, not amazing. Just was kind of hoping that maybe we could have seen a bit of progress in cup competitions. Virtue Trophy out, FA Cup out there. So not massively, not massively impressive so far. Carabao Cup out against Sheffield Wednesday in the second round. Virtue Trophy got out against Dover in the first round of the FA Cup. And Virtue Trophy out against Chesterfield. That's the first we've got in any competition so far. Still in League 2 at this point. It took ages to get out this level. Exit against Everton in the League Cup. Not an embarrassing result. 2-1 there. FA Cup through first, second, third round. 4-0 defeat against Liverpool. You know, not amazing, but we'll take playing Liverpool in the FA Cup. Then we'll keep going. Anything interesting happening? Carabao Cup out against Rotherham. FA Cup beat Rotherham. That's nice. But yeah, nothing to write home about there. And this is when we're quite good in League 1 in these early years. Defeat against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup third round on penalties. We've also extended the stadium. Currently we play at Cougar Park now. That's interesting. Good use of the £1 billion, it's fair to say. Virtue Trophy out against Manchester United there. So we'll have a look to see where the stadium looks like. Although the exercise stadium right now, so I don't know. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know what Cougar Park is, why we were there. Sponsorship, I don't know if Football Manager does that. It's interesting nonetheless. FA Cup third round, a win against Barnsley away. So in the fourth round of the FA Cup, a win against Aston Villa. Fifth round, a 2-1 defeat against Man City. Man City down at 10 men as well, and 1-0 up in that game. A pretty exciting run in the FA Cup, which is nice. 33-34 season. Let's see if there was anything drama happening here. Beat Norwich there in the League Cup. Brentford knocked us out of it. FA Cup third round, beat Norwich. Fourth round, beat Gillingham. Fifth round, lost against Newcastle 2-1. But again, we're having some good runs in the cup competitions currently. So we're a few seasons still away from getting promoted out of this League 1. I think we're still did we got knocked out the Virtue Trophy in the quarterfinal. I was hoping we could maybe win the Virtue Trophy at some point. Carabao Cup, knocked out against Burnley. No shame in that. Virtue Trophy there. 2-0 win against Sunderland. FA Cup, win against Bath. FA Cup second round, knocked out though. Virtue, we win. Lose the semi-final against Chesterfield. 36-37, so I think it's a couple of years before we actually get out of this league. Carabao Cup, get the third round, get beat by Southampton. FA Cup out against Gillingham, and the Virtue Trophy, we're through against Preston. We're out against Oxford at the quarter-final. I think 37-38 is our promotion campaign out of League 1. Out against Wrexham in the Carabao Cup. Out against Scarborough. I think we played them a couple of times in cup competitions. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the season we got promoted. 38-39 in the Championship. And out of the Carabao Cup against Sheffield Wednesday. We won't go in the FA Cup until January. And I've missed it. Knocked out against Leeds United. And this past season, did we see any drama? Well, we knocked out against Watford in the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup third round was a win against Spurs. That's fun. but a defeat against Sunderland at the Stadium. Right, so there we go. That we didn't do anything particularly in the cup competitions. Let's have a look at the facilities and see what's happened. So we played the 15,000 seater stadium. So the stadium's been massively expanded in this time. I think it holds about 5,000. So we've 2036 it was built. So it's a brand new stadium, the Simon Weaver Park. Okay, fair enough. So that is the name of the stadium. Let's have a look at the manager, see how long. Simon Weaver had been at the club forever and ever and ever. So if we look at club history and see what the manager history is. So Simon Weaver lasted until 2028, sacked. Stephen Gerrard had a run as manager for over a year. Interesting. Stephen Kenny had a run 2 years. Whoever Jack Fletcher is, he had a brief run of 91 days. Victor Sanchez. A lot of very short runs here for managers, sort of just lasting a few years. Simon Weaver, obviously, probably being the longest running one. I've had Valerian Ishmael. He lasted until 2031. Won the league here. And I think Stephen Gerrard's probably in for them early years where they were doing alright in League One as well. In terms of transfer history, I mean, we can see that this club is spending some serious cash. Obviously, we're so far in the future that a lot of these players, don't really exist. But we can see that the club are spending big amounts. That £1 billion is really helping them now they're at this level. I mean, even the season they got promoted out of League One, they spent 19.5 million, 6.2. A lot of big spending as you go through. 30 million spent in the 35-36 season. Wow. 12 million this year. So I mean, there's been some serious spending over the years from this Harrogate Town team, as you'd expect, since they've got all this money at the helm. They didn't spend a ton when they were in League Two, but I suppose how much money can you actually spend if you're in League Two? So there we go. That's what happens if you give one of the smallest clubs in the Football League £1 billion. 15 years later, they are in the Championship. I would argue that maybe if we simulated this for another 5 or 6 years, they might actually make their way to the Premier League. But there we go. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Please also subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll catch you soon for another simulation.